Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the FMC. We're back, baby, episode number 24, and today we're returning with a brand new season as we take on Norwich in the Premier League season open. You'll see how pre-season went in today's episode, and of course the much-loved transfer special as well. And it's surely the most exciting of the series so far. Can't wait, let's get straight to it. We've been doing smart business since the season began, but I know the past 2 years you've been going, Doxy boy, where are the wonderkids, bro? Where are the Wonder Kids? I'm so happy to say I got a couple of genuine ones this time, and I just can't wait to show them. But of course, we will start off with the departures in the summer. As you can see, that there weren't really any noteworthy departures apart from one, I suppose two if you want, really. Now, we did lose quite a few young players, unfortunately poached away on their youth deals. You'll see this lad here went to Arsenal. We lost a youngster to Leeds United as well. What you will notice is there's a fee there, but that's a compensation fee. What I'm finding in this year's FM is that it's a lot harder to keep your youngsters on youth deals. Many of them will just be like, do you know what, I'm ready to go on to pastures new, even as still a teenager. It does seem harder to convince them to stay. I offered them all contracts, but they rather go elsewhere. So yeah, lost a few decent youth prospects there on compensation deals due to their youth deals allowing them to be poached away by other clubs. But no worry departures, as you can see. We loaned out a youngster, got a lot of game time last year, Hamilton to Oakwell. He's gone to Barnsley for a year. We'll keep an eye on him. Anthony Knockout did indeed leave on a free transfer after he came back in season 1, was really good in season 2, not too bad last year as well, but despite the fact he's got great determination and work rate, 31 years old, now turning 32 in November, I was fine letting him go, as I'm not quite sure he's cut out for Premier League football anymore. But of course, the most noteworthy departure, I mentioned this on Twitter on Saturday, Tom Kearney, scapegoat, wasted under my tactics, sold into LAFC for £2 million. In the final year of his contract, he did have a contract extension clause, but I've slagged this guy off since day one, man. He just never really performed, and the former captain, who I took the armband off last year, has now gone to America. We did not see eye to eye ever when he was here. But anyway, as for the incoming to the new season, absolutely buzzing with the business we've done. We spent more money than ever before, but I think it was worth it. Let's reveal the signings one by one and buckle up, because this is going to take a while. So I think the one thing we've been lacking in this save so far is teenage talent we can get quite excited about. Obviously, Free made a mark last season, but I want more in this Fulham team. More youngsters coming through, and that was kind of the emphasis in the transfer window. So starting off with this guy, I actually signed him during last season from Southend. £2 million, 18-year-old. He's already been a regular in the Southend team with just 16, 17 years old. Last year was one of the top scorers in League 2 as well. Bought him for £2 million, no clauses whatsoever. And again, a very low-risk signing here. On a cheap contract, but could develop alright in the future. This is not the Wonder Kids I was mentioning earlier, but again, one to keep your eye on. And when I tell you that 6 of our new signings for the new season are 18 years old, I think it's safe to say I'm probably getting put on a list somewhere. Yep, the next signing is another 18-year-old. I signed this guy again towards the end of last season. I was scouting him during last season, and I'm very happy with this guy as well. Just like Collins, who I just showed you, we signed Kieran James for £2 million after coming through the Blackburn Rovers Academy. This guy has got absolutely fantastic mental and physical stats, and that's why I signed him. Already 13 caps for his country at just 18 years old, by the way. That's crazy, but 16 determination, 16 teamwork, 17 work rate with 17 natural fitness and 16 stamina. Oh my goodness. 5 of my favourite stats in the game, and at 18 years old, 16 is his lowest stat for any of them. Technically as well, already 15 passing and 13 first touch. The central midfielder, again, like Collins, not the Wonder Kids I was mentioning, but one to keep your eye on. I'm quite excited about this guy. Next up, one of only 2 real players that I signed in the summer window, but this guy is also just 18 years old. I promise I did sign someone else who's not a teenager, but you might know who this guy is if you're a Manchester United fan or if you follow youth football with some detail. Isaac Hansen Aron, not entirely sure if that's the right pronunciation there, but a Norwegian teenage talent. We signed him on loan from the Red Devils, and it cost us £600. One thing I'm noticing in this year's FM is that when you're negotiating loan deals, it's a little bit more trickier than in years prior, but also clubs seem to want just even something like little extra when you're negotiating deals. We're paying the Red Devils £60 a month for his contract. what's the point? Like, seriously, they're one of the richest clubs in the world, but they're like, right, you're only taking this guy if you give us 60 quid a month. I can't imagine whoever their chief accountants are, they're closely examining their income per month, seeing where is that £60 that Fulham promised us for our young talent. But regardless, as you can see, this guy's pretty decent. Don't know how he gets on in this year's FM, but he's absolutely rapid. 17 acceleration, 16 pace, a lot of 15 agility, and 16 balance on a winger as well. Mentally not bad either. 18 determination with 15 work rate as well. He also, by the way, has my favourite personality in the game, perfectionist. Absolutely love it to pieces. And also technically as well, just 18 years old, 14 dribbling, 16 first touch, 15 passing, and 16 technique as well. We had Dan James on loan a couple of years ago from Manchester United. He did really, really well. Wanted to make his loan deal permanent. Sadly, we didn't manage to get hold of him, but this guy does look really exciting for the future as well. Moving on, 4th of 7 new signings and one of the 3 South American teenage talents we picked up. Probably the least exciting, but he doesn't look too bad. We signed this guy, Darlan, from Gremio on a compensation deal for just £425,000. He looks okay. Left back, right back, and centre back, or he can play. He can play with either foot as well, which is very handy in FM. And looks okay, really. I don't know, to be fair, where he'd be best at. Again, either left back, right back, or centre half. Because based on his stats here, he's 6 foot with 11 strength and 11 jumping. Not great on a centre half. But then when going forward as well, he's not the quickest either. And he doesn't look very good when going forward as a fullback / wingback in this team. But to be fair, for a compensation deal and a pretty decent prospect for the future, happy with a small fee we paid, one to watch for the future. So the first 4 signings I showed you, relatively interesting, all 18 years old, ones to watch for the future. But the final 3 signings I'm going to show you, man, oh man, all I'm saying is this, excitement levels at Craven Cottage have gone through the roof. We spent big on 2 of these 3 names, but I just cannot wait to see these guys in action. Didn't know who to show you for the first of the 3 because they're all incredibly exciting players. But I think I'll go with the second most expensive signing of the window and one of the 3 that I'm most excited about. Parakambi. This dude looks unbelievable. When I told you I was going to be scouting South America this summer, I said to Frank when we were on our tour of America, look, you handle the meaningless friendlies. I'm popping down to South America to see what talents I can find. This guy looks absolutely incredible. Now, this is an attacking midfielder, and as I mentioned before, in this year's FM, they seem to do absolutely nothing for me. Maybe because I'm playing as advanced playmakers and not actual attacking midfielders themselves, but this guy looks the real deal. Now, like Darlan, I've signed him from Gremio, but sadly for a much higher fee. Spent 20.5 mil, which was his release clause to foreign clubs to bring him in, but he's already been performing really well in the Brazilian league. And again, at just 18 years old, he only turned 18 in June as well. The stats this guy has got, well, even at 18, getting paid 50 grand a week, I'll be honest here, I think he deserves a little bit more than that. Now, physically, he's not the best. He's not too slow with 14 acceleration, 14 agility, with 15 pace as well. But at just 5'7", this guy's not going to win many balls in the air, and he's got very little strength as well. Mentally, though, some really great stats here. 16 composure, 15 determination, 15 flair, 14 off the ball. I really like that stat as well on an attack-minded player, with 16 teamwork and 16 vision as well. This guy's got to get more assists than Tom Cairney did, surely. But technically as well, already just 18 years old, 14 dribbling, 16 first touch. I like the 14 free kicks with 14 passing and 16 technique as well. He's only 18, he's got the resolute personality. There's of course going to be a long way to go, but if I throw this guy in at the deep end, I think he could excel and grow and develop really, really quickly. And this guy's probably the 3rd least exciting signing of the final 3 to show you. It looks great though, can't wait to use him. Parakambi, our first of the final 3 signings. Penultimate signing of the window, and yes, I got my number 1 target. In the season finale when Aston Villa were relegated, I said my main target for the summer window was going to be this guy. Jack Grealish of Aston Villa spent his entire career at Villa Park apart from 1 loan spell at Notts County, but after 2 relegations in 3 years, we decided to bring him back into the Premier League for a new team. Grealish had a great season in Championship 2 years ago. Wasn't especially very good in the Premier League last year, but we know this guy's got the talent, man. Absolutely no doubt about it. Signed for £41 million. That was the not relegation release clause, the £50 million relegation release clause, but he was put on a transfer list, so he got a £9 million cheaper than I thought we'd have to pay. It is a crazy expensive contract. It is the biggest we've got here at Fulham. 95 grand a week, so just shy of 100 grand a week. 5-year deal. deal. The only concern with his contract here, as well, apart from the high wages here, is that he does have a minimum fee release clause to clubs in the Champions League of 65 mil. So as I said on Twitter on Saturday, the likelihood is we'll have this guy for 12, maybe 24 months, and then someone like Man City is going to snap him up. I feel very confident indeed. But really great stats though. As we know, Grealish can play deeper. He can play out on the wing as an inverted winger / inside forward, or through the middle. Of course, really offensively, this guy can play almost anywhere. And to be fair, wouldn't even be wouldn't be against giving him a game as a striker at some point. But he's got some great stats here. Again, physically not too slow off the mark with 15 natural fitness. Mentally as well, very well balanced all across the ball with 17 for flair, 14 determination, 15 off the ball, 14 teamwork, 16 vision, and then 15 work rate as well. And technically, I think that's where Jack Grealish really excels here. 13 crossing, 17 dribbling, 14 finishing, 15 first touch, 15 long shots, 14 passing with 16 technique as well. He is such a criminally underrated player at times, but he's an absolutely fabulous talent. He's 27 years old in the game now though, and will turn 28 in a month's time. But we've got him for his prime years. We spent a lot of money. The contract's very expensive, but he was my number one target, and I'm pleased to say for the first time in God knows how long, I managed to get my number one target, and he didn't go elsewhere. Jack Grealish in, absolutely buzzing. So 7th and final signing, 6th 18-year-old getting signed this summer. Doxy, you filthy boy. But I tell you what, man, I'm so excited about this guy. Now, if you thought Grealish was exciting and Parakambi was exciting, I think this one out of the three is the most exciting. I guess it's subjective really, but all I'm saying is this. When I told Frank I was going to Colombia, he said, Doxy boy, I thought you gave up that lifestyle. What are you popping over there for? I said, my scouts have told me there's someone I need to take a look at. And all I'll say is this, for the money we paid, this could be one of the biggest bargains I've ever pulled off in FM history. Welcome to Craven Cottage, the kid from Colombia, Fabian Giraldo, 18 years old and only turned 18 8 days ago. Now, when you look at his stats here, you think this guy looks really, really decent indeed. Media description is indeed a wonder kid, so first certified wonder kid we've had in the save. And we picked him up for £1.7 million. No clauses, no add-on fees, nothing like that. Just 1.7 mil last year for Atlético Nacional in the Colombian First Division. At just 18 years old, he was tearing it up. 7 goals and 4 assists in 16 games. And I thought, right, I don't know how this guy's not being represented at youth level or full international level, but he's certainly going to be a regular player in my Fulham team this year. Now, again, certified wonder kid, and you can see why. He's 6'4". 6'4". This guy's a giant with 15 strength, 15 jumping. He's going to win a lot of balls in the air. More on that in a minute with 16 balance as well. Not the quickest off the mark, 11 acceleration, 12 pace. Bit concerning because we do like strikers that run in behind, but even so, we'll live with that. He's got great mental stats already. 15 anticipation, 15 composure, 16 decisions, 13 determination, with 13 flair, but 14 off the ball, 13 teamwork, 14 vision, and 17 work rate as well. But technically already, just 18, 15 finishing, 15 first touch, 15 passing, and 16 technique as well. Now, I'll be honest here, at 6'4", you probably think he's a supportive player, perhaps as a target man, but he does have quite concerning stats in that role. Only 10 for bravery, you need that to be higher for a target man, and also only 9 for heading as well. So I don't really know what role he'd be best at as a striker, because again, with a lack of pace, he can't really run in behind. Not entirely sure what role he should be, but as an out-and-out goal scorer, he's got the main stats, which is most important. And again, what a steal. £1.7 million. It's only a 3-year deal. He does have a minimum fee release clause to club the continental competition, but I'm hoping that as these 3 years go by, we'll give him a bigger deal and a longer deal and remove that clause as well, because I think this guy could be the star striker of the save at just 18 years old. Very, very excited indeed about this young man. I don't know why, but he gives me Paleo Maria vibes. Anyone watch my Cardiff City say will know all about that Spanish wonder kid. So in the end, we spent about £67.5 million. Obviously, as we know, we've got to take into account that nowadays, I don't know why this happens in FM nowadays. Please, FM, sort this out for future versions. Never happened before. But Grealish, Collins, and James, their transfers were all included in last season's budget. For some reason, that's £63 million for the two of them there. There's James that shows up in this one as well. So 40, what was it again? 43 million plus the 24.5. So that is 67.5 mil, I think it is, in total. By the way, this is a young 18-year-old that was on a free and I just snapped him up for the academy just for more depth. But yeah, 67.5 mil spent in the window. Most expensive summer transfer window to save so far. And when you look at the wage bill as well, you know I've been talking about this regularly and saying how pleased I've been we reduced it significantly. Unfortunately, it's now back over the £1 million mark, but it's still about 200 grand shorter than it was back in season 1 when Fulham had that atrocious wage bill. But it is now back over £1 million. Bit of a shame, but you know you've got to spend money to make money. Our bank balance has gone down significantly. That's a ski slope with a little dip in there as well, down at £18 million, but I'm confident it will rise over the season. And again, you've got to spend money to make money. The signings we bought in, I think they're all worth every single expensive penny. So as we move into the team report and the squad depth as well for the new season, as you can see, we now have more strengths and weaknesses, which is of course very important indeed, though there are still quite a few very concerning weaknesses here. As for the squad depth of the team, you know, every single year I've been using the phrase slow and steady. We've made slow and steady progression, and I think that's continued as well. Yes, we've lost Kearney, yes, we've lost Knockout, but for the most part, we've retained the core here, and we've added some real first-team quality in the likes of Jack Grealish, Parakambi, and of course Fabian Giraldo as well. So yeah, I think again slow and steady is the common phrase we should continue using here. As for the dynamic screen, well, as we know, Kearney has now left the club. As you can see, the team cohesion is very good, club atmosphere is excellent, and the managerial support is very good as well. I did try and offer Bobby Reid out to clubs as well. That's why he's unhappy right now. This is the final year of his contract. I gave him a 1-year extension. I kind of regret doing that on 30 grand a week, but I thought, you know what, he was a legend in season 1 and 2. Don't want to just let him go on a free transfer. But that's the hierarchy of the club. This is quite interesting here. We've only got 2 team leaders now. Normally you've got 3. We've only got the 2. That's Zambo, the club captain, and Connor Roberts as well. I've given Tyrone Mings the vice captaincy for now, but I don't know how long he's going to stay here, so at some point we'll need a proper vice-captain, and that might well end up being Connor Roberts. I'm not entirely sure. But as for the social groups, as you can see, 3 splits right now. We've got 2 South Americans that are struggling to gel in Giraldo and Parakambi. We've got a similar amount of players in the secondary and the core social groups, but as I always mention, when you sign new players and the summer window comes around, they do split up a little bit, but over the course of the season they'll gel, and as you know, you want everyone in the core social, or the main WhatsApp group, if you will. I'm pretty sure that'll happen as the season goes by. So in terms of our objectives for the new season as well, as you can see, once again, I love the Fulham board, man. I absolutely love them. Avoid a relegation battle. That's all they want from me in season 4. And as I mentioned before, as the years have gone by since the very beginning of the save, we're not the team we were back in season 1. We're a better team now. The media think we'll finish in 13th place. Last year, of course, finished, was it 12th we finished last season? Actually, can't remember now. Was it 12th? It was indeed 13th place last year. So just like last season, they're saying 13th place will do them totally fine. And yeah, again, I think really we're more than good enough to avoid a relegation scrap nowadays. You see, the teams that got promoted last year: Cardiff City, Newcastle United, and Bournemouth as well. And briefly on Cardiff as well, I showed you this on Twitter. Josh Hyman mugged me off again. I negotiated a second deal with Stoke. He accepted a contract, and for the second time, he mugged me off. This time to go and join Cardiff. I tell you what, when Cardiff come to Craven Cottage, he's going to get an earful from me on the sideline, that's for sure. But anyway, so the media say we'll finish in 13th place, and the board say just make sure you avoid a relegation battle. I think we're more than good enough to do that. For me, again, this is where I'm targeting here. Around 10th to 14th place, that'll do me totally fine. FA Cup reached the 5th round. I do my best, but yeah, we're yet to get past the 5th round in the series so far. And as for the Carabao Cup, this is never important to me, but the board say reach the 4th round. Don't really care whether we do or don't. Very briefly on this, I won't spend too much time on it, but I have improved my coaching staff over the summer. As I mentioned before, it is one of the most important aspects of the game that you cannot turn a blind eye to. We now have the best defensive and attacking coaches in the league, and the best mental coaches as well. Of course, in my team, we'd have the best mental coaches, but best mental coaches. The under-23s and the under-18s are basically the best all across the board as well, hence why our youngsters are developing really nicely, by the way. Obviously, we lost quite a few decent prospects in the summer, which I was gutted about, but there are still quite a few here that look really decent indeed. Roger McAndrew, a young Welsh striker, and also Andrew Blake as well. Might give them a little bit of mini game time this year if we don't loan them out. But as for the schedule for the new season, as you can see, this is how pre-season went. We lost, I think it was 3 games and won the rest, including 2 testosterone flowing games. But as you can see here, how embarrassing was this? we conceded a goal in a testosterone-flowing game. British Airways. Let's just say we suffered some turbulence during that moment, and we were grounded by them getting a goal against us. Mate, just stick to what you're good at. Stop doing the jokes. But anyway, yeah, this is our schedule for the new season. And again, avoid a relegation battle. All the board wants to do, I feel very confident of that happening. Indeed. Should we just get to the first game? Let's do it. So first game of the new season is indeed Norwich at home. Oh, by the way, just one thing really briefly. Some of you guys might have wondered what happened in the African Cup of Nations over the course of the summer. Well, we did see three of our players even, reach the semi-finals. We had Tosin with Nigeria, who got to the semis before being knocked out by Burkina Faso, and Jerome and Zambia with Cameroon, but they were also knocked out in the semi-finals by Algeria. So in an Algeria versus Burkina Faso final, Algeria won the African Cup of Nations. So Tosin won it a couple of years ago with Nigeria. Last year with Nigeria. But I thought to be fair, this would be the year Cameroon won it. But sadly not for Zambo and Jerome. Anyway, moving into the first game of this season, I am going to give some debuts in this game, and this will be our team. We have had a few injuries during pre-season. Jack Grealish went down. Patrick Bamford went down. They're not really fully fit to start the game, but they will start anyway because I'm a rebel. Bobby Reid is also down as well from a groin strain. Someone else went down, but they're fully recovered, but I can't remember who it was now. But even so, we had a few injuries, but no one too significantly injured. And this will be our team for the game. It's our 4-2-3 on control possession style. This is my favourite style to play in FM. And this is our team. Rodex in goal. Back for us, Kyle Walker-Peters, Tosin, Jerome and Connor Roberts. So our defence continues to stay as a unit. Gagliardini and Zambo through the middle. Grealish makes his debut. Hansen Aaron makes his debut on the right. Parakambi makes his debut. And Patrick Bamford, last year's top scorer, keeps Geraldo on the bench. But for how much longer? On the bench, Darlow, Mings, Target, Cook, Cavalieri, Fabian, and also Mitrovic as well. First of two. I'm excited for the new boys, man. Come on, Fulham. Let's get a win on the opening day. New gens and regens are where it's at in FM. And I found last year it was very hard to find them. But the three we've... Oh, Zambo heads Parakambi's corner onto the bar. Not even a perfect start. I found last year it was hard to find many of them in the first few seasons, but I must say, I can't figure out which one I'm most excited about, really. Parakambi or Geraldo. They both look really, really exciting for the future, indeed. And, you know, South America, we've known this for like a decade now. That's the place to scout if you want class new gen and regen wonderkids on relatively cheap deals. Anyway, great start. This from Fulham, and should have had the first goal there. Bamford denied by Olsen, still 0-0. Keeping the pressure on early, though. Let's find that breakthrough. I want a goal or an assist for Parakambi or Grealish. I'm so excited about the pair of them, man. Spent over 60 million on these two guys, but they just look so creative, so full of flair, so fun to watch, you know, as Gagliardini finds the boy, and he should have scored his first on his debut. Grealish denied, still 0-0. How have we not broke the deadlock yet? I think last year scoring goals was kind of difficult at times. In fact, we actually scored fewer goals than we had back in season 2. Now, obviously, we signed Geraldo, and I hope he can be a big source of goals, but Bamford was our top scorer last year, so it wouldn't be fair just to drop him, really. He does remain out there so far as our starting striker. But at what point do I say it's time for the young kid from Colombia to come in and lead our line? Not entirely sure. Great start this, though. All we need is that one goal, and I feel we then totally take control. And again, it's another chance going begging. Bamford over the bar. This is shocking finishing. So, goalless at the break. And I'm just going to say to the boys here, with my hands on my hips, we're not doing badly at all. If everyone continues to work hard, we'll win this. We've been in control and totally dominating. Just lack the finishing touch so far. And that's why Fabian, the young 18-year-old, was on the bench saying, "Boss, bring me on. I'll win the game. Trust me." Just see this being one of those games where you absolutely dominate and you end up losing 1-0 due to a silly own goal or something, you know, as Fofana tries to get round Gagliardini, whips it in, and Buendia denied from close range as Yari picks it up, and Norwich will play it back in, and back to Max Aarons as they keep the chance alive, and Gagliardini makes a tackle, and the shot's easily saved by Rodak as it's still 0-0. I don't want to draw on the opening day, man. When you've played this good, you've got to get rewarded for it, surely. But instead, Norwich weathered the storm in the first half, and now they're looking better. Easy save by Rodak, still 0-0. One of those games where you think about the missed chances. Are they going to come back to haunt you? But as Bamford takes over, just under half an hour to go, got Geraldo on the bench. I've got to bring him on, surely. I've got to bring on the teenage talent as Gagliardini finds Connor down the right. Love Roberts so much, man. Back to Parakambi. And now Roberts. Parakambi. And Bamford squeezes it. Is that onside? Is that onside? It is indeed. Goal stands and Patrick Bamford gives the lead. Fabian, sit back down, son. It's still Patrick's team right now. Well, I said I wanted a goal or assist for Parakambi or Grealish, and we've got one for our number 8. Bamford slots in from close range. I thought I was offside there initially, but instead it does count. And Parakambi on his debut, don't need a second replay, FM, with the assist. I got to say, man, I said, him or Geraldo, who's more exciting? He doesn't have the Wonder Kid media description, but he definitely looks like one. I've given him number 8 jersey, and to replace Tom Kearney, I said he's got to get more assist than Kearney. He's already got one on his debut at just 18 years old. The excitement is real. As Bamford robs done. Surely the chance. Hanson Aaron's there if you want him, mate. But Bamford takes it alone. 2-0 Fulham. Fabian Geraldo, I'm sorry, bro. It's going to take a while before you're in this team, I'm sure. I trust Bamford completely. He was our top scorer last year, Patrick Bamford, and as excited as I am for the kid from Colombia, he's got great stats. He had a great goal-to-game ratio last year, and I think it'll be unfair just to drop him straight away in favour of an 18-year-old kid. But we are going to win on the opening day, that's the most important thing, and I've got to be honest here, this has been a very encouraging opening day performance. It took us a while to get the opening goal, but once we did, and I knew we would, we looked in complete control. Looking for a third goal. I'd love it if Bamford get a hat-trick on opening day, but instead Caballero gets his first of the season, and Parakambi has been the playmaker that we've been looking for in this year's FM on the opening day. Let's not get too excited here, but Parakambi is what I was hoping that Kearney would be. To be fair, even before in the first half he was looking very creative. Look at that, first time slip through ball into Caballero off the bench, and it's 3-0 Fulham. Parakambi, the excitement levels for him and Geraldo, man, just can't wait for the season to unravel. And there it is, 3-0 on the opening day. We win on match day 1, and I think we've won 3 of our 4 season openers in the save so far. It was only last year where, of course, we drew with Swansea, where we failed to get a win on the opening day. We start seasons off strong, but you know what's going to happen midway through. Of course, we'll collapse as we always do. Either way, very impressive performance there, especially when going forward. That was a big concern for us last year. Didn't score many, but Parakambi impressing on his Fulham debut. 20.5 mil to bring him in, but 2 assists. He's already got a third of the amount of assists than Kearney got last season. Very excited indeed about this young man. In fact, how many assists did Kearney actually get last year? Pretty sure it was 6. Was it 6? Oh my god, he had 1. Tom, bro, you let me down. You let me down last year. 6.64, to be fair, 11 of the games came off the bench, but either way, yeah, the future is our new number 8, Parakambi. Maybe Kearney could have been considered a scapegoat, but I'm very excited about the young Brazilian. But that was this episode of the FM Save, guys. Big thank you. If you enjoyed, if you had them, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and we'll return with games against, I quite like this double header here, to be fair. Arsenal away and Burnley at home, or maybe Chelsea away and newly promoted Bournemouth away as well. In fact, that sounds quite exciting. West London derby and a newly promoted side. Have a great day, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of the FM Save, featuring more Wonder Kids, hopefully with good performances very soon.